Hello, it's Chester Tuckwell at Blue PK Computer Training, and in this video we're going to look at how to create a searchable drop-down list. So just to give you a quick preview of what we're going to achieve, if I type something into this cell, the drop-down list gives me a list of results that contain the letters that I've put in. If I type J Oliver, it brings up all the J Oliver products, whatever. So it's a contains in search. So this is what we're going to hope to achieve. Okay, to create the drop-down list, you need a source for it. So what I've done is I've created a product list sheet with a list of all my potential products. There are quite a few. I've also created a dummy search box at the moment. This eventually won't be my search box. I'm going to put it on another sheet. But it's going to contain the criteria that I'm looking for. So at the moment I'm looking for knives. So I've got knife and knives. So I've put KNI as my search criteria. And I've actually got two columns in this database. I've got the product name, as I said before, but I've got a workings column where we're going to use a search function to search for whatever I type in here. Now this data is in an Excel table, and I've done that so I can have a dynamic range. So if I was to add more records to my product list, my drop-down list is automatically going to pick it up. That's what an Excel table achieves for you. And you can do that very easily. You just click into your data and go to Insert Table. It's grayed out because I've already done it. So let's use our search function in the workings column. Search function is fairly simple. What it does is it search for a text string, and I'm going to need to fix that, within another text string, and all it does is actually return the position of that text string. Now the last argument, start number, I'm not going to use. You only need to use that if you're going to start searching from anything other than the first character within the text string, which I'm not. Now the other good thing about the Excel table is that it automatically copies the formula down. Now you can see what it's done. Wherever it's found KNI anywhere in the text string, it's returned its position. Otherwise it returns the value error. Now the position isn't of any use to us in this context, but what's common to each result that's useful is that it's a number. So what we're going to do is use the ISNUMBER function, which is like a logical test. It will return true if our search function returns a number, otherwise it will return false. So now I've got my trues and falses. So what we need to do now is to convert all our true results to a number. And in fact, the first true result needs to be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, etc. And to do this, we can use an if function. So if logical test, now the value of true, as I said, it's got to return 1 for the first true value, then 2 for the second. The way you can do this is to look at the maximum value of all the cells above the cell that the formula is in, and then add 1. So if the maximum value of the cells above is 1, because there's only one other true above, then you want the next true to be 2. So what we can do is say max. So the only cell above at the moment is B1. And the range is actually B1 to B1, because that's all the cells that are currently above. But we want this range to automatically grow as the formula is copied down. So the way to do that would be to lock that cell reference. So the B1 here can change to B2, B3, B4, but this will have to stay the same. But we're going to add 1 to the result. And then the value of false, well, that can be a 0. Okay, so if I press enter, you can see now what it's done. So the first knife product gets a 1, the second gets a 2, then 3, then 4. So the next step is to create in another list all the products that have a number in the workings column. So I've got to look up the position of these numbers and return the product in the same position, vertical position in this column. And I'm going to use the index function for this. So the array is the range of cells that I want to return results from within, so that's the product column. And the row number will be the row number of these numbers in the workings column. So first of all, I've got to look up the position of 1, and then of 2, and then of 3, etc. Now, to find the position of a value within a column, I can use the match function. And initially I want to look up 1, but then if I copy it down to this cell, I want to look up 2 and then 3. So I need some way of automating the lookup value, so it automatically changes to 1, 2, and 3. And a good way of doing that is to use the row function. So all that does is return the row position of a cell address. So the row position of D1 will be 1. And the lookup array, well, that's in this column, that's where I'm looking for the 1. And my match type is 0, an exact match. Okay, so I press enter and then I copy this down. So in this formula here, the row reference will be 2 because it's pointing at D2. So it goes down here, finds 2, works out what the vertical position of that is, and then returns the value in this column in the same vertical position. Okay, so the only other thing I need to do here is to get rid of these NAs. So if I use if NA, which has 2 arguments, value, which is the result of this formula, and then if it returns an NA, I want to return an empty text string. So I'll copy that down there, get rid of the errors. Copy down as far as I think I'm going to get results. Now essentially this becomes my source for our data validation drop-down list. But the problem we have is we don't know how many rows this drop-down list is going to have. So for example, if I type Jamie Oliver in here, then the list grows. So the way I'm going to get around this is to use the offset function. It's a very useful function. Basically, it returns a range of values, but you have to specify your starting point as your reference. And I don't want to move from that reference point, so you can specify a number of rows and columns to move, so I'll just skip those arguments. The important argument is the height, which defines how high the range is, how many rows are in the range. Now, the number of rows that are in the range will be the maximum number that you find in the workings column. So don't forget that if J. Oliver appears 17 times in our product list, then the highest number in this column will be 17. So if I just say max this column, then that will return the correct height for our range. We don't need a width because it's just one column wide, so we're fine with that. Now, it's unclear exactly what's going on when we use this until we use the F9 trick. So if I select that and press F9, can you see that the offset value is, the offset function is returning the whole range of values? Just undo that. Similarly, if I type back in knife, KNI, and I do F9, then it returns the knife products. So this formula is returning the correct number of rows for whatever specification or criteria I put in my search drop-down list. Now, this needs to become the source for a named reference, but before I do that, I'm going to fix the D2 reference. Always fix that reference there. And then I can copy this formula and I'm going to enter it in the name manager. So I'm going to go to the name manager here, create a new name, and I'm going to call this Dropdown. And I'm going to paste my formula into the refers to box. Okay, we're nearly there. So what we can now do is specify that the drop-down list's source is that named reference that we've created. So I'm going to click in this cell where I want my drop-down list. I go to data validation, and the settings are allow list, the source being the drop-down name that I created. Now I can press F3 to bring up the list of names that I've created in this workbook. Click on OK. And I also need to go to error alert and untick this option here, show error alert after invalid data is entered, because I'm going to be typing any old thing in here. So let's see if this works. I've got KNI in there at the moment, and that brings up the knives. If I was to type glass in there, it would return all the glass products. So it's actually done exactly what we wanted it to do. Now you don't need to have this drop-down list on the same sheet as all this workings here. In fact, I don't need this here at all because I've already pasted that into my name manager. What I'm going to do is just create a new sheet. And I can just cut and paste this into the new sheet, and it'll still work. Just as well. So you might use this for a lookup or something like that, but it is now at least searchable. Okay, thanks very much for listening. It's been Chester Tugwell at Blue Pecan Computer Training.